Okay, let's unpack this. We have all heard the golden rule of business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty simple. Do not mix business with pleasure.
Right. Don't do it.
It's the one piece of advice every MBA student, every entrepreneur, and frankly, anyone with a job hears on day one.
Keep things separate.
Exactly. Keep the boardroom and the bedroom separate.
Yeah.
And, that seems like a reasonable boundary to keep things professional.
Ideally, yeah.
Huh.
It saves you from HR nightmares, awkward elevator rides, and potentially ruining your whole livelihood. It is a solid rule.
But what happens when you take that rule and you put it into a pressure cooker?
Okay.
What happens when your potential business partner is also your brother's best friend?
Ooh, that's complicated.
And what if that partner happens to be a famous, incredibly attractive hockey player who somehow knows how to French braid hair?
Okay, that is a very specific, very volatile set of variables. You are essentially taking the golden rule and just tossing it onto some really thin ice.
Exactly. Today, we are doing a deep dive into Just Breaking the Rules by Lauren Blakely. And this isn't just a story about a bakery or a hockey game.
No.
It's a story about shedding labels, finding second chances, and yes, breaking every single rule in the book. We are looking at a contemporary romance set in San Francisco and the fictional, kind of charmingly chaotic town of Cozy Valley.
And while it sounds like a lighthearted romp on the surface, and believe me, it is funny, the source material actually gives us a lot to chew on. It's about identity and reputation. We're looking at tropes like the brother's best friend, the single dad, and the workplace romance, but Blakely uses them to explore how characters break out of the box as people and, society put them in.
That is what I love about this deep dive. Our mission today is to analyze these character dynamics, break down the catastrophic, inciting incident that sets everything in motion.
Oh, the cake incident.
It involves a live television broadcast and a very, very unfortunate cake. And we really have to look at this unique business proposition between a baker and an athlete. Because honestly, the way this narrative challenges the hot mess stereotype is just, it's fascinating.
It is. The tone here is fun. It's humorous. The book describes itself as being powered by dogs, which is a great indicator of the vibe.
I love that.
Yeah, there are baking puns, there are awkward situations, but underneath all that sugarcoating, it deals with the very real anxiety of trying to prove your competence when the world has just decided you are a walking disaster.
Powered by dogs. That's perfect. And speaking of disasters and competence, let's jump right into our protagonists because they are a serious study in contrasts. First up, we have Mabel Llewelyn.
Mabel is a character you root for immediately because she just feels so real. She is the baker, the creative force, and the owner of a catering pop-up called You Deserve a Treat. She's resilient, she's incredibly creative, and she has this amazing flair for fashion, like she plays pickleball just for the outfits, which I deeply respect.
I do too. But that isn't really how the world sees her, is it?
Not at all.
If you looked at her reputation in her hometown, what are you seeing?
You are seeing a flashing neon sign that just says, "Warning." Mabel carries this really heavy label, the hot mess.
Right.
And the text implies this isn't entirely unearned, or at least she has a history of, monumentally bad luck that feeds this perception.
Right. The label creates a lens through which everyone just views her actions. But there is a specific event, a piece of lore in her history that really cemented this. We have to talk about the llama incident.
The llama incident. Oh my gosh. It is one of those background details that explains so much about her current anxiety.
What happened?
So it happened at a fundraiser in her hometown. The details are a bit chaotic, fittingly, but it involved a pancake breakfast and a literal animal stampede.
I can just picture it. You were trying to do something good, flip some pancakes for charity, and suddenly there are llamas.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And that is the tragedy of the hot mess archetype, isn't it? It is rarely malicious. Mabel has good intentions, but the execution just goes off the rails.
And this reputation has real consequences.
Huge consequences. She is fighting tooth and nail for financing to open a brick-and-mortar store. She has the talent, she has the product, but she keeps hitting these walls because banks look at her public image and they just see a risk.
They don't see a quirky creative.
No, they see a liability.
Which, it makes sense why she is so superstitious. The text mentioned she relies on a lucky hair clip.
Yeah.
Where you feel like the universe is conspiring to make you trip over your own feet. You grab onto whatever lucky charms you can find, right?
Exactly. It is a coping mechanism for a world that feels random and punitive. Which brings us to her absolute foil, Corbin Knight.
Yes. If Mabel is chaos and creativity, Corbin is discipline and order. Introduce us to the hockey star.
Okay, so Corbin Knight is the star player for the Golden State Foxes. He is wealthy, he is successful, and he totally fits that archetype of the calm, insightful voice of reason. If Mabel is a splash of paint on a canvas, Corbin is, like, the grid lines.
There is one detail about him that I think perfectly captures his psychology.
What's that?
He uses inventory apps for his home kitchen.
Yes.
Who does that? I mean,
Yeah.
who creates a spreadsheet for their pantry?
Someone who values control above all else. In his professional life, hockey is fast, it's violent, it's unpredictable. So in his domestic life, he creates extreme order.
Mm-hmm.
But here is where the character depth comes in. He isn't just a rigid athlete, he completely subverts the dumb jock stereotype. He has a secret.
A secret that I think makes him about 10 times more interesting.
What is it?
Corbin Knight is a secret baker.
I love this detail so much. The big, tough hockey player who goes home, takes off the pads, and just stress bakes brownies.
It completely humanizes him. Why do you think he keeps it a secret, though?
Well, think about the environment he works in. A hockey locker room is, hyper-masculine.
Right.
Admitting that your passion is creating delicate pastries might not land well with the guys, but it aligns his motivations with Mabel's. He plans to open a bakery upon retirement to honor his late mother's dream.
So is the connection.
It's a connection to his past and a hope for his future.
And he isn't just baking for himself.
Yeah.
He's a single dad to a 12-year-old daughter, Charlotte.
And Charlotte is a fantastic character because she kind of flips the parenting dynamic. She is essentially his manager.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, she creates project timelines for him. So despite his professional aggression on the ice, his domestic life is defined by caretaking, sweetness, and taking direction from his preteen daughter.
So we have the chaos agent and the control freak, but they aren't strangers meeting for the first time.
No, not at all. The connection is established right away. Corbin is the best friend of Theo, Mabel's brother.
And Theo is also the acting general manager of the hockey team.
Exactly. So the stakes are incredibly high from the get-go.
Talk about a tangled web. I mean, Corbin works for Mabel's brother.
Right, and they have known each other for years. We learned that Corbin actually had a crush on Mabel 7 years ago, but he never acted on it.
Why not? If the attraction was there.
Well, 2 reasons. First, the bro code. She was Theo's sister, and you generally don't date your best friend's sister.
Especially when that friend is also your boss.
Especially then. But more importantly, he had a young child. He prioritized his daughter over his romantic interests. It establishes him as this really responsible figure, which makes his eventual rule-breaking with Mabel even more impactful.
So he's not a guy who breaks rules lightly.
No, not at all.
So we have the players. We have the history. Now we need the spark. And in this story, the spark isn't some romantic candlelight dinner.
No, it is a full-blown disaster.
Well, we have to talk about the smash cake incident. This is the catalyst for the whole story.
It is a classic Dark Night of the Soul moment, but it's played for comedy and just total humiliation. The setting is the Webflix Love is in the Air romance fair competition. It is a high-pressure, very public setting.
And Mabel is competing against a celebrity chef named Ronnie Legend.
Yes, and Ronnie Legend is described as being just incredibly harsh, a real villain of the culinary world.
Okay.
And the task is to create a complex cake with rice paper butterflies. It requires precision, steadiness, things Mabel is capable of, but struggles with under pressure.
And just to make it worse, there are giant screens everywhere.
Yeah.
And what is on those screens?
Oh, this is the worst part.
It's her ex-boyfriend, Dax Strong.
This is such a crucial detail for understanding Mabel's headspace during the scene. Dax is on a reality show called Romance Beach, and the producers of the baking competition are streaming clips of him.
That is just cruel.
It is psychological warfare. And he isn't just standing there looking pretty, he is publicly trash-talking Mabel.
On national television.
On national television. He calls her a hot mess, claiming she can't get her act together.
He literally says she dreams of making cakes with llamas kissing on them, but doesn't do a thing to make it happen. Which, by the way, Mabel notes internally that she puts llamas on her logo, not the cakes.
A very important distinction.
But the damage is done. She is distracted, she is insulted, and then disaster strikes.
It is a physical manifestation of her internal state. She tries to catch a falling rice paper butterfly, a desperate attempt to save the aesthetic. She slips, and she plants her elbow directly into the heart-shaped cake.
Oh my God. I can picture it perfectly. The gasp from the crowd, the silence, the judge, Ronnie Legend, mocking her apron, which, of course, has llamas kissing on it.
Of course it does.
But what I love is Mabel's reaction. She doesn't run away immediately. She tries to spin it.
She claims it is a smash cake.
I meant to do that. It's a classic move.
It is a moment of improvisation that really highlights her resilience. She's trying to reframe the narrative in real time, but unfortunately, the judge isn't buying it.
Not for a second.
He dismisses her to his trailer to clean up.
And this is where the narrative shifts from public humiliation to intimate connection. Because who steps out of the crowd to save the day?
Corbin Knight.
Corbin Knight.
He's attending with teammates, and he intervenes when Ronnie is being rude. He just takes charge of getting Mabel to the trailer. And if we analyze the scene, it reestablishes their dynamic perfectly.
How so?
Corbin is the fixer. Mabel is the chaotic force. But, and this is key, he doesn't judge her.
He helps her. There is this incredibly intimate moment where he helps her clean the frosting out of her hair.
Mm-hmm.
And not just cleaning it, he French braids her hair.
That specific detail, the French braid, is fascinating to me.
Why?
Well, first, it signals his competency as a father. He mentions he learned to braid for his daughter, which is just so sweet.
Adorable.
But secondly, braiding is tactile. It requires him to stand close, to touch her hair, to be gentle. It breaks down that barrier between brother's friend and potential partner. It is a caretaking act, but it is also deeply romantic.
And clearly, Mabel feels it too, because the cleanup turns into something else entirely. They share this turbocharged kiss against the trailer door.
So impulsive.
It's impulsive, it is messy, there is literal frosting involved, but it is electric.
And then reality crashes back in. The kiss is interrupted by Ronnie's assistant. It leaves them with all this unresolved tension and, metaphorically and literally, frosting on Corbin's shirt.
And that moment is the hinge point. It wakes up that dormant attraction from 7 years ago, but now it is colored by this intense, shared secret.
Totally.
So Mabel leaves the trailer, tries to salvage her dignity, but the fallout is swift. The smash cake incident goes viral.
Of course it does.
And in the age of social media, that has real-world consequences.
It does. It becomes a meme. She has a meeting with a banker named Jonas. The text describes him as a chill banker who plays guitar.
Right, so you think, oh, the guitar guy will get it.
You're hoping?
But the guitar guy still works for a bank.
Exactly. Despite liking her concept, he denies the loan. The hot mess video makes her a financial liability. It is risk assessment 101.
And it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
She loses her ghost kitchen lease because the facility is switching to exclusively keto products.
Which is such a specific, very trendy reason to get evicted.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, we can't have your sugar and flour contaminating our keto space.
Talk about kicking someone when they're down. So she has no money, no kitchen, and a viral fail video. She is at rock bottom.
But this is a romance novel, and rock bottom is usually where the twist happens.
Right.
Mabel is summoned by a lawyer, Garth Funkel.
Garth Finkel, what a great name.
It sounds like a character from a different universe. He informs her that her late grandmother Betty has left her a deed.
And it is not just any property. It is an old abandoned firehouse in Cozy Valley.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a catch, right?
Several catches. First, it is the very site of a previous animal stampede disaster involving Mabel.
Oh no, so the location itself is mocking her.
Totally. And second, it's a wreck. It has a kitchen and good bones, but it needs massive, expensive renovations.
But the most poignant part of this inheritance isn't the brick and mortar. It is the note.
Yes.
The note. Grandma Betty left a note that simply says, "As you see fit."
Chills.
It gave me chills when I read it. It is a message of faith. Everyone else, the bank, her ex, the public, sees a screw-up. But Grandma Betty saw potential.
Mm-hmm.
As you see fit.
Mm-hmm.
It is the validation she isn't getting from anyone else.
Precisely. It empowers her agency. It says, I trust your judgment. But agency doesn't pay for renovations. She has the shell of a dream, but no way to build it.
Which leads us to the business proposition.
Yes.
Enter Theo, the brother and accidental matchmaker.
Right.
He calls a meeting at the firehouse. He knows Mabel has the property, but no cash. He knows Corbin has cash and wants a bakery. It is simple math to him.
But it is a complex emotion for them. Corbin is hesitant. He's still playing pro hockey. He has his daughter, and he has that loyalty to Theo. And Mabel is desperate, but she is also proud. She wants to prove she isn't a charity case. She doesn't want Corbin to just throw money at her because he feels sorry for the hot mess.
Corbin initially thinks he might just be a silent investor, a silent partner. But then, in a moment of clarity, or maybe temptation, he reveals the truth. He doesn't just want to write a check.
He imposes a condition, and it's a big one. He wants to be a hands-on partner. He wants to bake, create menus, and work in the kitchen when his hockey schedule allows.
This is a huge shift for him.
It is.
Got it.
He is deciding to live out his retirement dream now. He is realizing that waiting for someday might mean missing out.
But Mabel is skeptical.
Super skeptical. She knows him as the hockey star. She doesn't know if he can actually bake or if this is just, a rich guy's hobby.
So she challenges him, which leads to one of my absolute favorite scenes in the source material,
I think I know which one.
the macho bake-off.
This scene is such a delightful inversion of gender roles. Usually in domestic romances, you might see the heroine proving her domestic skills to the hero. Here, Corbin shows up at Mabel's tiny apartment at 8:30 a.m. to prove his competence.
And let's talk about the visual. He is wearing an apron.
The apron!
It says, all this, and I can bake.
You have to appreciate the confidence. It is a bit cheeky, a bit arrogant, but it is perfectly Corbin.
And he doesn't just bring one thing. He brings a spread.
He presents a variety of items to prove he's more than just the money. First, pumpkin blondies. And this is crucial. He specifically made them without nuts because he remembered Mabel hates nuts.
That detail is so important. It shows he listens. He isn't just baking. He is baking for her.
Exactly. Then, lemon bread. Described as tart and moist. Vanilla cupcakes that were simple but nostalgic,
Right.
but the closer, chocolate chip cookies.
The text describes Mabel's reaction to these cookies as ecstatic. I think the description is bordered on orgasmic.
They definitely did. It is sensory storytelling. He is proving that he speaks her language, the language of flavor and texture. He is showing her that he takes this seriously.
And it works. They agree to the partnership. They set a date to open in December. And crucially, they agree to forget the kiss in the trailer to keep things professional.
Which, as we know, is the rule that is made to be broken. But they try to sublimate that tension into the business. Corbin creates a salty and sweet bar, which prompts Mabel to create a graphic.
Right, the graphic. You're my salty and my sweet.
It is branding, but it is also flirting.
Totally. They're defining their dynamic through the product. They're telling their story through sugar and salt.
I love that.
So the deal is signed. Now they have to build the thing. Let's talk about the firehouse renovation because the building itself is weird.
It is so eccentric. They tour the facility, and it has the standard firehouse pole, which is polished, by the way, but it also has industrial ovens and this weird dressing room setup with mirrors and lights.
Right, the implication being that the previous owner almost turned it into a strip club,
Exactly.
which leads to Mabel joking about naming the bakery Sticks and Dicks.
Which is hilarious. Hockey sticks and strip club vibes. It shows their comfortable banter. They can joke about these things.
But the operational details reveal their personalities. Mabel teases Corbin about the name, leading to a text exchange where he guesses dirty names.
He suggests the Hung Bakery and the Hot Box.
The hot box for a bakery and a fire station is actually kind of genius, if it wasn't so inappropriate.
It is clever. But they also have serious disagreements, like the aesthetic. Mabel insists on pink. Bright pink.
And Corbin, the macho hockey player, agrees. But he has a great line about it.
He says, "I will peel your pink ass off the pink hill." Which is basically, I am going to win this argument eventually, but fine, have your pink bakery.
Right. It shows he respects her vision, even if it contradicts his personal style. He knows when to yield.
But he draws the line at muffins.
The no muffins rule, Corbin hates them.
Why does he hate muffins?
I think he sees them as lazy cupcakes. He is a purist.
I can see that.
So they decide to focus on Crading's afternoon hours. And, in a nod to the book's vibe, they bake dog cookies for charity.
Powered by dogs.
I love that they integrate that into the business model.
But amidst all this planning, there's a massive layer of secrecy. Corbin hides the partnership from his teammates, Miller, Riggs, and Lake.
Why hide it, though? It's his own money he's investing. It's his business.
Well, he doesn't want to be accused of sucking up to the GM, Theo. And he doesn't want them prying into his feelings for Mabel. Hockey locker rooms are gossip mills. If they know he's baking cookies with the boss's sister every day, they're going to talk.
True. But secrets never last, especially when you have a 12-year-old project manager involved.
The leak.
His daughter Charlotte accidentally reveals the project timeline to his teammate Miller. She probably just thought she was sharing her dad's schedule.
So Corbin is forced to confess to the locker room. This could have gone poorly. They could have mocked him. But surprisingly, the team is supportive, and mostly they are just hungry.
They just want in on the cupcakes.
Exactly. It is a wholesome twist on the locker room dynamic. They aren't toxic about it. They just want snacks.
So While the business is building, the emotional stakes are getting higher. Let's talk about the character growth here, particularly for Mabel.
Mabel is constantly fighting her insecurity. The hot mess label is internal now, you know?
Right.
There is a really painful scene at a coffee shop in Cozy Valley. The owner, Joni, brings up Mabel's past failures and the hot mess meme right to her face.
That is brutal. Small towns have long memories.
It is humiliating. She wants to shrink away, but Corbin steps up. He doesn't start a fight. He charms the owner. He subtly defends Mabel's competence.
And then they have this heart-to-heart where Mabel admits she avoids town because no one takes her seriously.
And Corbin validates her. He says, I take you seriously. I believe in you. And that is the emotional core of the book. Yeah. He offers her the stability and respect she hasn't found elsewhere. He becomes the mirror that reflects a competent version of herself back to her.
Meanwhile, Corbin has his own internal conflict. He is torn, he is attracted to her, but he has loyalty to Theo. And Theo explicitly warned him.
Right. Do not hurt my sister.
Do not hurt my sister. Plus, his hockey season is going poorly. The team is struggling. He needs to focus. He struggles to maintain boundaries. There's a moment where he asks her to wear a shirt during the bake-off because her lack of one, she's wearing a sports bra or a dress or something, is distracting him.
He literally can't focus on the dough because of her.
Exactly. And their text relationship builds this intimacy, too.
Yeah.
There's a funny moment with accidental texts Mabel dictating to Alexa about underwire bras, stabbing her.
And it sends to Corbin.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
But instead of being awkward, it just establishes that they are part of each other's daily lives. It creates a rhythm of intimacy that goes beyond just business partners. So bringing it all together, what are our key takeaways here? What does just breaking the rules teach us beyond how to bake a good cookie?
Well, first, the story subverts the jock stereotype so effectively. Corbin isn't just a physical specimen. He is a domestic, baking-obsessed dad who uses inventory apps.
He's complex.
He's very complex. He shows that masculinity can include nurturing and creativity.
And for Mabel, it really highlights the theme of second acts.
Yes, Mabel is rebuilding after public failure. She proves that a hot mess is often just a creative person who hasn't found their footing yet.
So the hot mess trope is deconstructed. Mabel isn't incompetent. She is just chaotic. She just needed the right partner to balance her out.
Exactly. Corbin provides the structure that allows her creativity to flourish. It is a symbiotic relationship.
Really makes you think about that grandmother's motto. If not now, when?
It does. It is a call to action, whether it is starting a business, telling someone how you feel, or just eating the cookie.
And it leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to think about. We spend so much time building walls and following rules. Don't mix business with pleasure. Don't date the friend.
All these boundaries we create.
But this story suggests that sometimes the rules are the only thing holding us back. In a partnership defined by rules, is breaking them actually the only way to succeed? And will that salty and sweet dynamic be enough to survive the small-town gossip mill and a very protective brother?
You will have to read to find out. But I think we can guess that sometimes the risk is worth the reward.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into just breaking the rules. Go bake something delicious, and we will catch you next time.